That's right, we're out here once again. You see that? That is called food for free. I don't know why our culture and government does not invest in plants that grow free food. There's all, you know what I mean? Why do we ship it over and sell it for £3 in a plastic box? £3 is like, you know, everyone's working on minimum wage, a lot of us anyway. A vast, like probably nearly the majority of the people who have these kind of corporate jobs are on fucking like £10 an hour, £15 an hour, and then there's tax and bullshit, and then you're spending free of that on this. But not only that, we genetically modify it to make it look like a cartoon, so that queasy fucking, when really the roughness and the kind of naturalness and the nuance to how it comes in nature is going to be good for you. Our culture seems to think if you just fucking sanitize everything, then it's better. So they genetically modify it and then they spray it with poison so that nothing wants to eat it, so that we can eat it. But the reason why no one wants to fucking eat it is because they can tell there's poison on it. So why the fuck do we eat it? I don't know. There's nuances to this thing. How is everyone doing? Today's been a really good day, even though I've been at my wage slave 9 to 5. And that's something I've realised is the good days actually, like, it's an internal game to have a good day. Everything's energy. But that's the thing that's so surprising. When I started having really good days at work, it wasn't because I was at work. Like, I don't want to be at work, don't get me wrong. But, like, I can... Often it's about, like, enlightenment and, like, spiritual awakening things. They can happen while I'm at work. Or I could just be feeling really good about myself and be feeling like I'm on a good path. And then it doesn't matter that I'm at work. I'm just thinking about my vision all day. And I do, in a way, I like my job, which I know I don't like it because it's wage slavery and it's literally a fucking warehouse thing. So how can you like it, obviously? But I'd like it because I like everything now, and that's kind of the goal. Like, that's what spirituality is about a lot, is cultivating love for everything you can, and that is how you create heaven on earth. If you could just learn to love everything, then you literally live in love. And you wonder why I say reality is love. Just because you hate everything, aka, like, you know, if you're full of hate, obviously reality won't be love, even though it still is. But reality is love. Always, that's an absolute truth, which means it's true no matter what. Reality is love. Well, it might not seem that in the moment all the time, but you'll realise that was love as well, eventually. And, yeah. Reality can be love if you can love all of reality. Anyway, what am I here to talk about? I don't know exactly, to be fair. I literally just whipped the camera on, but today I was listening to a lot of Alex Sedlak. I think me and him are actually somewhat on quite a similar dimension. Like, we are alike in many ways. Just in general, I've been having a lot of growth and insights of myself. I think I realised that a lot of my problems in the past was just my youth. Like, just at the beginning. That's one thing I've realised a lot recently, is how long of a journey life really is. And, like, obviously I know that supposedly I'm going to have a 60, 80, 100 year lifespan. But to really, like, it's like it's only just hit me. Like, fuck me, it's going to be a long journey. But there's something about that which kind of, like, you know, when people go, what's the meaning of life? It's like, You must have not truly lived if you're asking that question. In a way. It depends. If you're saying, what's the meaning of life, as if it's, like, supposed to... Like the way that you frame the question is just, like... That's the thing. It's like you could go, well, what's the meaning of life? And you think that it's actually a good, objective question, like... But then I could just turn it around and go, well, what do you mean by meaning? Like, are you assuming that there's, like, some... Because things can have meaning, like, a spanner is for a fucking... a nut, yeah, I guess it would be a nut. Yeah, nuts and bolts and shit, whatever. So that's the meaning of the spanner, kind of. Or the purpose. What's the purpose of life? A purpose kind of implies that there's, like, that you can use it in a practical manner. But you can't use the whole thing. Or you can't, I don't know. Like, don't assume that, like, things can be used in that way, I guess. But the meaning of life is, like, I've heard, I think, who was it that told me this? It's just that, like, joy can be its own meaning. Like, if you experience deep joy and gratitude, etc., like, positive emotions, I guess, overall, and love, like, it becomes its own meaning. Recently I had a shroom trip that was, I scrolled past an Instagram reel while I was on shrooms, I know. I don't know, I kind of like the Instagram Reels, but, like, they're a lot better than some other apps. Like, there's a lot of good content that often reframes, like, and reminds me of my mission, because it knows what the fuck I'm on about. But, yeah, this Reel said, basically, the thing that makes life so special is that one day you'll eat your last meal, and you'll hug your friend for the last time. I said it in such a dry way, but the video obviously had, like, music, piano, and video, and a nice cool soft voice, and it was all, and I just let the video replay, and it really sunk in. It's just like what I said about how life is such a long journey, and I've only just realised that. Like, I was stressing so much, telling myself I'm running out of time when I was 17 years old, because I was listening to loads of Actualize.org, which is basically just a personal development channel, and he's like, basically, you have to, if you don't act fast, then, you know, you've got a small window of opportunity here. But at the same time, it's like, there is time. That's what Aubrey Marcus said. And it's nice to hear. I think that a lot. Like, there is actually time to heal and just have space. It's fine. But so yeah, I really just realised that life is like actually quite a long journey, you know. Like, fuck me, it's a long ride at it. Like, going from young to old, like, just everything that it would encompass. Like, it's such, like, a complex movie. So many twists and turns. Like, it's just when you look at how much you grow over 1 year, and then you're like, because I hear people like, oh, I'll dedicate 5 years to my business, then I'll dedicate 5 years to this, and it's like, fuck me, there is a lot of time, like, and so, like, the amount that you're gonna grow and change. Jordan Peterson says, you're all in. This will kill you. Another thing, I know I'm just running, so I'll get back to what I said, but when he says this will kill you, I've always thought in, like, a kind of an awakening, like, because I've had my mind fucked so much by, like, psychedelics and shit. Like, there's so, like, plot twists in reality. Imagine if, like, you was on your deathbed, and everyone, and, like, you were surrounded by people potentially, and everyone knew you was going to die in a second, like, you was literally on your last, and then when the fucking heartbeat monitor, whatever the fuck, when it went flatlined to indicate that you died or something, everyone just went pranked, and then like, all of the limits on reality just got removed, and then they were like, is heaven forever? Like, you spend your whole life being fully convinced that the one thing that you are gonna die. Obviously, eventually, I guess you will in some form. But could you imagine if you got to the end and then it just, like, didn't happen for some reason? Like, something was invented, or... yeah, or if, like, as soon as it hit that moment, like, reality was like, not so fast, and just handed you infinite weed. 1 second. But yeah, when I was on the mushrooms, and I'd only just realised that one day I supposedly will die. Just like how I said, I've only just like, you can hear something conceptually, one day I'll die, or life is a long journey, you'll live likely 80 years. You can, like, grasp that concept and understanding, but sometimes you actually have to realize it, like, fully, with, like, full depth, and, like, bask in it for 10 minutes. And that's what happened. I was like, I'm gonna eat my last fucking meal, and it said you might not know when your last meal is. You might not know it's the last time you're gonna hug or see your friend, you know. And I was like, and then the idea of this, everything that I'd known, like, basically just being forgotten, or becoming a burning memory, or a memory, if you know The Caretaker. But just the idea of that the show is going to be over, basically. Because, like, I'm so invested in my story, where I'm like, I know who I am, I know where I'm going, I've got all of these goals and aspirations, I've had this journey, I never gave up, I love everyone around me, etc. You know, you're in the midst of trying to figure stuff out all the time, in a sense, where, not necessarily, but, you know, you're always, you kind of assume that you're going to live forever. Not, like, explicitly, you just unconsciously, like, are in the midst of, like, everything that's happening. You don't feel like it might just randomly stop. And the idea of the fact that it could, you understand that the way that you've been thinking the whole time implies that that couldn't happen. Like, if you knew you was going to die in, like, a year, doesn't that change the whole way that you, like, think about everything? Or that you, like, the ways that you think about your own problems, etc. Like, I always get stressed about, like, the fake food, in a sense. Like, I'm always trying to be healthy, and I get angry at myself when I eat, like, sugar and stuff. As you know, I talk, like, you know, you're not supposed to eat, like, all this junk. But at the same time, like, I look at some of the people around me, and they don't give a fuck. And I didn't used to give a fuck. So it kind of shows that all of the suffering is created in the mind. Even some of the stuff where it seems like it ain't. But I swear down it is. The mind is a lot more deeper than people think. Yeah, I think, I literally just chat random shit. But anyway, I'm going to evolve super quickly, super speedily, and the government is going to collapse, and rise of public intellectuals, and information revolution, and the mass awakening is going to happen, and so people are going to hear about psychedelics, and I'm going to travel and go to different cultures, and I'm going to do podcasts with all sorts of people. And right now I'm nobody, but I will be somebody, because I'm God, and why the fuck would I incarnate into a dead thing? I would not do that. So watch what's about to unfold. Faith is cultivated, and reality is literally the highest love. And when you know that, it's like, ha 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 ha, time to win. Trust me, bro. Alright, I gotta go, because I think I'm meeting some crazy don who took me to some UFO crop circle. We done nitrous oxide. I got a trip report coming out soon. Don't do nitrous oxide, I don't think. I don't know. Don't do the Babylon canister, at least. But do research. Don't, I don't know, that stuff's weird, man. See you later. I love you. My name is OXSN. Bye.